Hello.
Testing.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Get Fit ASAP podcast. I've got a special. Every time there's a guest on, I say special guest, but
Everybody's special.
I mean it this time, Josh.
I'm special in the other way. Like, not necessarily special like a present, but more just special in the brain.
Everyone's a little bit special, right?
Heck yeah.
Sorry, guys. Got Josh Gibson here today. He's been on the podcast a few times already. He's our manager over in our new Elk Grove location. He was in Sacramento before. How's things going in Elk Grove?
Going really good, man. Gym looks awesome. The community's building really fast, so we're getting a lot of new members already. I think we're already up to 60. We've only been open for 2 weeks. So
nice.
2 weeks, yeah, it's looking really good, man. Super excited. So we're looking to grow that gym a lot. So if you guys have any friends or family in that area, send them our way. We're getting a lot of good feedback. Our head coach over there, Torsten, he's killing it, man. He's doing a great job. And our night coaches, Candace and Joe, phenomenal coaches. Everybody's doing a really good job. Programming's been amazing, so all the athletes are super happy with everything over there. So building a really good community.
Nice. Yeah, we got a good topic for you guys today. We've made some nutrition templates to help you guys out, just getting things set up and programmed out right, and I guess just preparing yourself for the week or obviously. We'll go over that in a second, but meal prepping, getting prepared, so you don't prepare for success, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of people don't even know where to start when it comes to nutrition. So people pick these kind of off-the-wall diets. I've seen a lot. What's popular right now? I mean, the keto is obviously still kind of. I feel like it's going down, but it's still popular. Yeah. What's some other ones? The Caribbean diet.
I don't know.
There's a bunch of them.
Diet?
Mediterranean. There you go. Not Caribbean. Coconut shrimp all day.
Yeah.
But a lot of fad diets are out there. They've been around forever. So what we're trying to do is teach people how to eat for life, not for this short-term little fix. We're trying to teach people how to properly portion their meals, eat quality foods for performance, and basically change your diet and your way of thinking for long term. So this is the way you're going to be able to learn how to eat for the rest of your life, not some temporary fix that you're going to lose 40 pounds and 6 weeks maybe you're gain it all back plus some. So we don't want to create any bad habits with this. So I feel like these nutrition templates are very solid. As soon as I saw them and you sent them over to me, I was like, okay, it's all the same foods I eat every week.
Yeah.
It tells you the portion amounts to eat. It's very, very, very simple. So basically what we're going to do is go over with you guys some quick tips on it and basically kind of how to read it. They're really, really simple. So if you guys have any questions, just ask one of your coaches. They can explain anything for you really fast. So we'll kind of dive into it. So biggest thing was, I know RP was something we used in the past, Renaissance periodization.
Yep.
It's very similar to that. It's macro-based.
Yep.
With the food choices, I think that would be a good place to start. So food choices are going to seem limited for a lot of people. I think a lot of people that eat out a lot and stuff like that.
Whatever's convenient.
Yeah, whatever's convenient. They're going to look at it and be like, oh man, this is a lot less options than what I normally have. So one thing I just want to let you guys know, don't be scared to flavor your food. A lot of in-house seasonings, things you can make at home. There's all kind of recipes. Don't be scared to season your foods. There's not that much calorie in all the different herbs and spices and all that kind of stuff. I tell people, don't count that stuff. You know what I mean? It's just put it on there, flavor your food. It does not have to be this bodybuilder.
You can pretty much do whatever seasoning you want, really. It's not going to really impact your calories or anything like that.
In the long term, it's even if it added up to 10 calories or whatever, that's not going to make that big of a deal in the long run. You'll burn that off pretty easily. So with the food choices, kind of going to go through here. So the way the template breaks it down, it's going to give you a list of proteins, veggies, fats, and carbs. Those are your 4 main food sources that you're going to be choosing from every day. That's the basics of just a good, well-rounded meal. So kind of have it listed out for you. It's a very limited option. So we know we're going to go for lean meats on the protein side, whey protein shakes for those people that maybe aren't getting enough protein in.
Yep. I think that's a big topic I see actually. Is probably people eating too many carbs, honestly, not enough vegetables and not enough protein. It's the main thing I see
And the biggest staple should be, your meat and vegetables should be the biggest staple of your diet all throughout the day. So all your meals should have some type of meat and vegetable or protein and vegetable. Post-workout, obviously you're not going to scarf down a steak, but just having that protein and vegetable in there is going to fuel you for life, basically. And then the other stuff is just a little more energy to support whatever fitness you're doing. As far as the vegetables go, do you have any particular take? I noticed on here it was just, it's a pretty broad range of vegetables.
Yeah.
Do you have any particular vegetables that you feel like you've heard in the past are not good for you or anything you don't eat, or do you believe in just eating the full spectrum of?
Well, I know that the more starchy vegetables like corn, do they count as a vegetable still?
It's, well, no,
I think so.
It's
do they?
kind of a grain.
Is it
technically?
I don't know.
Technically a grain.
Oh, sure.
So, technically a grain. So there are some vegetables that are kind of on that cusp, borderline of is it a vegetable?
Yeah,
By
it's like-
definition, yeah.
What about tomato?
So tomato
That's a
would be a fruit.
fruit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
right.
So you can argue that stuff all day, but what I tell people is think of it like the rainbow. You want to eat as big of a spectrum of colors as possible.
Yeah.
So when it comes to like peppers and stuff, eat all the different types of peppers because basically what color in vegetable does, it kind of is like God's given way of telling you like different nutrients are in those foods.
Taste different.
So yeah, they taste
You're tired
different.
of eating the
So
same
if you eat
thing.
a wide variety of different color vegetables, you're going to get in all the micronutrients throughout the day. So
Yeah.
if you only eat green ones, you only get specific nutrients. If you only eat orange ones, you're going to get those kind. So if you eat a wide variety throughout the day, plus it just changes up the flavor profile of your food.
And
So
it
we don't
looks
want to eat
nicer.
the same thing. It really does, man.
Yeah,
Who doesn't like a big old plate full of like colorful vegetables? I don't know. I don't
just
like
want a
vegetables
big
that
old
much, but
plate of green,
I like
right?
it. Exactly, yeah. Salads get old really quick. Fats are a really good one to test on. I feel like proteins are pretty simple. Just keep your meats lean. If you're going to eat meat, something 90% or leaner. So if you guys that are like eating ground beef and sausage and stuff, just look at the package and make sure it's 90% protein, lean source, and then not that much fat. For vegetables, the full spectrum, and fats. So we're going to go any nuts, avocado, olive oil, any natural nut butters, and avocado oil.
This
So
is a big
that's
thing I see
pretty
too.
Simple.
People overeating on because
Yeah,
it's really
big time.
like basically well for like the fats and stuff or the butter. It's like basically a tablespoon is 15 grams of fat, which is basically one serving. It's
Yeah.
like, dude, that's like nothing, and people will put 2 or 3 tablespoons at
Yeah,
you know
they
what I'm
get
saying?
really. You can get out of control on fats really fast. A quick little preface to that too. So if you guys don't know, I know a lot of people. It's kind of common knowledge, but not a lot of people know this. So proteins and carbohydrates, there are basically 4 grams per
4 calories per
4
gram.
calories per gram.
Yeah.
So, but with fats, you actually get 9 calories per gram. So
Exactly.
it's over double.
Yep.
So even if you eat a small dose of fat, you're still getting over double the amount of calories out
You
of
eat
that.
9
So,
grams
Yeah.
of fat, which is barely anything.
Yeah.
That's 90 calories.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot.
You know
so
what I'm saying?
just beware of that. So if you didn't know that, double check it. Do your
Yeah.
fact check on Google, whatever you gotta do.
Or even
Internet
like
it.
nuts,
So,
it's
yep.
it's like a really small serving is like a really small handful. People will grab like a handful, like it's like not
Yeah,
and they'll
it's a
chomp that
small
down like
snack.
nothing.
Yeah.
You know what
it's
I'm
actually
saying?
a lot of calories though, and if you do that, I know a lot of people that say they work in like offices and stuff, or just like commuters. They
Yeah.
say they keep like nuts or whatever at their desk or in their car, and they'll
Convenient,
just kind of
quick to
they're
eat.
like, oh, it's healthy. I'm just eating raw almonds. But you have to understand, you can gain weight just by eating broccoli, chicken, and rice, like a bodybuilder diet. If you eat excess calories, you're going to gain weight.
Exactly.
Food quality, all that's going to do is promote basically good digestion, good performance, all those things, but quantity is still the goal at the end of the day.
Exactly.
You have to control the quantity and the portion size, and that's what this is going to help with. So with fats, just be careful snacking on those nuts. Make sure you're actually accounting for, look at the nutrition label, see how many calories in, and it'll tell you like how many kernels of almonds or whatever. I think a serving's only like
Exactly.
23, and it's quite a bit of calories and
Yeah.
quite a bit of fat. So just be careful with that.
Sneaks up on you. You gotta
Yeah.
do your research on it. Make sure you know what you're putting in.
Exactly. Now let's go into the devil's sauce, carbs, man.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
always the topic of conversation. So we've already established that fats they're really, really high in calories, so just definitely be careful with that. Carbs are where everyone has a problem. First of all, they either overeat them or eat the wrong type of carbohydrates. What's good, what's bad. There's a lot of rumors going on out there. So in these templates, what you guys are gonna see, you're gonna see rice, any type. Let's go ahead and get rid of that whole negative stigma on brown
Just
versus
brown
white
rice.
rice. I myself get heartburn and I don't digest brown rice very well,
Oh.
and so I eat white rice. I only eat white rice. It's like twice a year I'll eat brown rice, and that's
Yeah.
it. So for me, it works just fine. It digests really fast, and yes, it is a higher glycemic index, so it will spike your insulin levels. When you pair it with protein, it actually cuts that effect out.
Well,
So
and
a lot
like
of
the
people
amounts
don't know that.
the amounts of people that they're eating right now is just totally off usually.
Yeah, big time.
And so on the templates, it's not going to be a super high insulin spike because you're not each
You're not
meal
eating as
isn't.
much.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
And like I said, when you pair it with the protein and the fat, it's just going
Yeah.
to bring it down even
Exactly.
more. So you're basically that white rice or whatever it is, it's going to be just as good as quality. It might not have as many micronutrients in it, but at the end of the day, if
But
you
it's
really
quick,
don't
it's
like brown
easy
rice,
to digest,
and it'll fill you up pretty good. So stick to that. So rice, any type. Oatmeal is always a really good option. If you guys get the chance to go to like a like more of like the bulk style, so not the oatmeal that comes in packages with like 80 ingredients, like
Yeah.
the cinnamon flavored donut swirl. Definitely don't do that one. Go with plain rolled oats, steel cut oats, those types of things.
Yeah.
I like the bulk bin because they're like, we go to Sprouts a lot over in Elk Grove, and it's like 69 cents a pound.
Oh wow.
Dude, a pound of oatmeal is like outrageously
just
huge, right? So I'll just like fill it up with like 6 scoops, and that lasts us a month or whatever between 2 of us. So we eat a lot of oatmeal. So stick to oats, keep them plain, flavor them yourself. So add in the rest of whatever you have. So obviously you get nut butters on this program.
Yeah.
So
maybe a little bit of fruit,
there,
right?
A little bit of fruit, yeah, and just portion it out, man. Yes, at first you're gonna have to read a little bit of nutrition labels, figure out where those macros are coming from and how much you can eat. But once you got it figured out, it's dialed in. I'd say it usually takes people a week or 2.
Yeah, it's not as long as you
then
think.
after that, you just kind of go by. You can go by eyeball.
By
after
look,
that.
yeah,
for sure. What else we got? Potatoes, any type. So same thing on potatoes. I find that I like potatoes in breakfast. But if I have a hard workout coming that day, if I know I'm coming to train with you guys, I don't eat sweet potatoes because they don't sit well with me and they take a long time to digest. So I end up going with either rice in my breakfast or I'll go white potato because it digests a little bit faster. So I feel like my stomach's empty when I go into my workout versus feeling full and bloated. So
that's a good thing you just brought up too, Josh, is like, so in the templates, if you're finding well, it matters what your goal is, you're trying to gain weight or lose weight, but if you're finding yourself like hungry, maybe you're eating too much rice. Maybe you want to switch over to a potato, which is more filling, and vice versa. If you're trying to gain weight and you can't eat enough, or you can't eat all the food that you need to eat, switch over to rice because you can eat more.
You can eat
it's
lot
a
more
less
rice,
volume,
especially white rice, man. That's
exactly
a great tool, and that's why you hear it so much in the bodybuilding world. Those guys are trying to get as big as possible, and gals. And it's like rice is something you can literally dump 2 cups on your plate, and you can pretty much force feed that down.
Or even strongman, where they do like all ground beef because it's too hard to eat like a steak and stuff. Like crazy things you don't even think about. I mean, most people are not going to have that problem, but it's just interesting.
We're not trying to ingest 500 grams of protein per day. Like
it's crazy amounts.
So any type of potatoes are fine. I definitely recommend switching it up, man, just because they have a little bit different micronutrients in them. So what I would do is every week, whatever's on sale at the grocery store. Some weeks sweet potatoes are on sale, some weeks red potatoes are on sale. I think it's a really good idea that every Sunday when you're doing your grocery shopping or whenever you do it, just whatever's on sale, grab that, and that's going to automatically change what you're eating that week, so you get a little bit different flavor palette. They're all going to be pretty similar as far as quantity. So once you figured out how much you can eat, you get a medium sweet potato, you're allowed half of that.
How many grams, whatever, how many ounces you're measuring.
So once you figure that out, it's all going to be relative. So once you measure it out, your white potato is going to be the same as your sweet potato. There might be a small variance, but not enough to make a difference over time. Some people get a little too caught up in the exact grams. I'm like, okay, let's go within reason. We got to live, right? So let's try to make this thing long term. And last but not least is going to be fruit, any type of fruit. Same thing as vegetables. You want a wide spectrum. Fruit especially has a boatload of micronutrients. So you want to have, if you're going to eat 2 pieces of fruit a day, which is what I usually recommend. I don't recommend binging on fruit by any means. It does have a lot of sugar. But if you're going to eat 2 pieces of fruit a day, my go-tos are whatever's seasonal. So that way it switches up the palate as well. That's the main thing,
dude. When you get something from the store, I'm like, oh man, I shouldn't have got this. Taste like crap. Because they know it's out of season.
Yeah, exactly. So I like to just switch it as it goes. I usually let my wife pick because she likes a lot more stuff than I do. So I just tell her, like, whatever you want, just get it and I'll learn to eat it. So one week it's, my go-to is always like banana post-workout, and then I usually eat an apple with breakfast. That's my 2 fruits for the day, and I eat no more fruit.
I've been on a berry kick lately, man.
Berries are good, man.
I mean, I like blackberries a lot because I used to always eat them at my grandpa's house. But then I've been eating raspberries, which I didn't really ever like. I'm starting to really like those.
Raspberries.
It's weird.
Maybe I need to give them a try.
Same thing with blueberries too. Like I'll throw that in my breakfast. So it's just But I like the really tart ones. I don't like the soft.
Oh really?
Soft ones. Yeah, I like the ones that are a little sour a little bit.
Those give you a discount.
Those are good, man.
Nobody wants.
Oh man.
So any of those. One thing I noticed that wasn't on the carb list, which is one of those really fine line. You guys that are breadaholics, man, a lot of people are, right?
Yeah.
There are good breads out there. So I'm going to say this one time only. It's very clear. If you go to the refrigerated section and you get sprouted whole grain bread, that's your go-to. That's a good quality source of carbohydrate. It's super, has a lot of micronutrients in it. It's very calorically dense. Ezekiel makes a really good one. There's a bunch of them. If you go to your local like farmers market style grocery stores, they're gonna have a lot of options. So the bread, like the Sunbeam and the Wonder Bread and all that, this is on the shelf.
Yeah, not the Wonder Bread, guys.
Don't eat that. So if it's on a shelf where it's not refrigerated, just don't eat it. Don't even look at it because it's not a good option. So it's not gonna have any micronutrients in it. It's not gonna be good for you. Yeah, it's gonna have a lot of preservatives. Anything that can just sit on a shelf like that.
Yeah.
That's been baked. I'm like, come on, dude. It's
gonna be enriched flour. Or what is it? It's like
it's like bleach flour.
Yeah, bleach, enriched, something. I'm like, Jesus.
If you have to bleach your food, you probably shouldn't eat it.
Yeah.
It's pretty gross. So that basically covers the 4 different types of foods we're going to be picking from. Now I kind of want to dive into the structure of the template. We'll just give you guys a brief overview. You guys that are actually getting these templates from us, obviously we'll talk with you one-on-one about them, but this will give everybody a basic overview of what they look like. So it's pretty simple. So you're going to be eating between 4 and 5 times a day. Preferably 5 would be, I think, is a really optimal kind of in range. The first one's going to say on there, it's going to tell you your shake after your workout. Basically, your post-workout shake is going to be some form of protein, whether you want to do pea protein, vegan protein, whey protein, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's all protein at the end of the day.
If you're going for taste, I'd recommend whey, because that's the most popular one and they actually make it taste good.
I've tried recently the other ones, and tried a couple of the other ones, and they just don't. They're always chalky.
No,
they
like,
sit in your mouth. They're pretty gritty. So
and if you don't like the taste, you ain't gonna drink it.
Yeah, exactly.
So then it's like, dude.
So get a good quality whey protein. Our gyms, we have X Endurance, which is phenomenal. Stuff is really, really, really good. A lot of people say it might be a little pricier than what you get at like Vitamin Shop or whatever, but you're always going to pay more for good quality stuff. And now that you're not going to be eating out as much, trust me, it's worth it, and you'll have plenty of money for it. Because as soon as you quit eating out, you realize how much money you're dumping. Oh my God, it's ridiculous. So I don't even want to hear that rebuttal from anyone. So stop eating out all the time, and it's so expensive. Learn how to cook. So it's going to tell you how many grams for you and your particular goals that you're going to have after your workout. So literally, I always keep my protein, I think you do too, in your gym bag. So it's literally like as soon as you finish the workout, kind of cool off, walk over, start making your shake, and just sip on it. Then the next one that's really, really, really important is going to be your post-workout meal. It's going to be broken down into exactly how many grams of protein, how many grams of carbs, how many grams of fat, and it's going to tell you how many cups of vegetables to have in that meal. So that's going to be your most dense meal of the day. Is
probably with the most carbs too.
Yeah, and the most carbs. That's where you're gonna get your big, delicious meal from. So no matter what time of day you train, common myth: don't eat carbs after 6 p.m. or whatever. What if you're a 7 p.m. CrossFitter and you come into class? Yes, have your post-workout meal after workout. I don't care if it's 8:30 or 9 o'clock at night. It does not matter. Your body's going to use everything we give you in these templates. It's going to use all of it. So
it's all relative to what time you're burning off that. You need that glycogen restored.
Yeah, the whole nutrient timing thing and all that stuff. It's more appropriate based off your workout, not the time of day. So our body runs off 24-hour cycles. It doesn't matter where that food comes in on that 24-hour cycle, as long as your biggest meals are on your workout. After that, it's really, really simple. It's broken down into your 3 regular meals that you eat outside of your workout. So we have post-workout shake, post-workout meal that you consume about anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour after that shake and you get home from the gym. The other 3 meals you're going to eat throughout the day are all going to be even. So that's the cool thing about them, is once you kind of learn that system, you're like, you can just develop a meal plan that you're like, okay, this is what I like for breakfast, this is what I like for my lunch, this is what I like for dinner, whatever it is. And you can break it up, and once you figure it out, you're done, man. You literally just meal prep something similar to that every single week. So if you're eating chicken,
try to make it as simple as possible, man. If it's not really simple, people aren't going to even try to read it and not going to even try to use it. So
for sure.
Make it simple, easy to use, convenient, and then sustainable.
And we also have cookbooks too. So if you guys are looking for ideas on really, really wholesome foods with these types of ingredients that we recommend, just ask us, man. We have is there a couple hundred recipes?
Yeah, it's a lot, dude.
It's a lot. I think
I've used like 6 of them.
I know, right?
I'm on number 6. So it's like
so I try to every month I try to implement like a new one.
It's good though.
Rotate it up. We love at my house. We eat a lot of food, man. We have 2, like endurance athletes, so we eat a lot of food.
Yeah, it's true.
So we do a lot of slow cooker stuff.
Well, it's super easy, bro.
I know.
You throw it in there, you walk away.
Look up a cool recipe for whatever kind of flavoring you want. So, it's going to be chicken or beef or whatever. We know the meat part, but you're like, I want to change it up this week. Just look up like a paleo option for like a sauce and make it and just throw it in there. So leave it in there 4 to 8 hours. Super simple. So that makes life really easy. When you cook your rice, just buy one of those like $30 rice cookers, Instapot or whatever you got. Man, it's so simple, dude. Like meal prep should not be hard and it shouldn't take long. Cook everything in bulk, just like if you're cooking your vegetables. I usually do 1 sauteed pan full of like onions, peppers, all that kind of stuff, and coconut oil. That covers my fat and my veggies. And then I do another one in the oven with like broccoli. We usually do like cauliflower, onions, and like zucchini.
I put asparagus in there.
Vegetable bake. Yeah. And then same thing. Just drizzle it with some olive oil. That covers your fats for your meals. You're good to go. So pretty simple. So those other 3 meals, basically the way the template looks, it just says how many grams of protein. Bless you.
Thank you.
How many cups of vegetables, how many grams of fat, and how many grams of carbs. That's not for the whole day. That's not for all 3 meals. That's for each time you eat.
Correct.
It's the same.
It's going to be times 3.
That'll be, that'll be times 3. So when you're looking at it, you're like, I'll only get 20 grams of protein and 15 grams of carbs the rest of the day. No, triple that. Because each meal will have that many of that quantity in it. So other than that, super simple. last thing I want to touch on is your off days. I do get this question a lot. People, especially when they first look at templates, they always want to know, what do I do on my rest day?
Yeah.
First of all, try not to rest. No, I'm just kidding. Active recovery is a good idea, so go for a hike, do whatever. But on those days where you're not actually training or doing high intensity training, it's basically got a template that's very simple. 5 meals, 3 to 5 hours apart, and they're all going to be equal. So you want to keep your proteins, fats, and carbs and your vegetables all even throughout the day.
Since you have no workout, you don't need to get that higher.
And what that's going to do is, it's not going to spike your
carbohydrate.
insulin. It's not going to do any spikes. You're going to feel sustained throughout the day. So I think where we're just going from here is kind of back to the preface. In the nutrition template, there is a nice little paragraph section at the top. It's going to tell you guys some common things like, what if I'm too hungry all the time? What if I'm too full all the time? Things like that. So Anthony, if you'll kind of go over that. The first one, there are 4 stages to each one of these?
Yeah.
It's cool. So let's kind of talk about that. How do we know? So stage 1, that's where everyone starts. We give you the appropriate template, and then you have 4 stages, which obviously the calories get less and less as we go down. Yeah. How do you know when to go from stage 1 to stage 2?
Basically when you're not seeing any results.
Yeah.
So by results, I mean, if we're losing weight, we want to go for about 1 to 2 pounds a week. Now, if you go under 1 pound, and I'll go back to when you're weighing yourself, that's the average of the week. So that's not just like, every Friday I weigh, and maybe I'm bloated that day, or maybe, if women are on that time of the month, you might have fluctuations in weight. You just have to take the average of the weight. So you need to weigh yourself every day. Now, if the average of that week is a pound, if you lost a pound, keep going, stay on that same stage. Now, if you're gained a pound, or maybe you only lost 0.5 or something like that, you're gonna want to go on to the next stage. But don't go too early. Like, if you're still losing a pound, that's fine. That's sustainable. Dude, if you do that for 30 or 52 weeks, you're gonna lose 50 pounds in a year. That's exactly fine, right? And then for gaining weight, it's gonna be harder to gain weight, or at least lean muscle for sure. So if we're gaining even 0.5 per week, that's plenty, dude. Yeah. That's still 30 pounds of muscle-ish, or 25 pounds of muscle in a year.
Yeah.
So
which is highly unlikely.
You're gonna have a lot of.
With the people trying to gain weight and muscle, I think the realistic numbers are more like 6 to 10 pounds per year, which seems crazy. But now, granted, if you're like a novice lifter, you've never trained before in your life, like never lifted a weight, yes, those people are going to tend to can bulk up pretty fast. But if you have been doing this for a while, and you've been doing at least like bodyweight calisthenics and those types of things, it's going to be a lot harder to gain weight. So,
and if you're just getting on a diet too, like if you might lose 5 pounds, or if you're never working out at all, 5-10 pounds. Something like that, it's going to stabilize pretty quick. So I would just stay on stage one, until you not lose any weight. Then you go to stage 2. Yeah, and then make sure you stay strict to it too. A lot of people will be like, on stage 1, I didn't lose any weight. I'm like, well, how strict were you? Yeah. Well, I cheated on this day and this day, this day. I did this. My dude, you gotta stay strict to it, because then you'll know if you need to go down or not. So I can give you stage 4, and you can not listen to it. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna give you some
quick math for you guys that asked. People, they're gonna ask, dude, how often do I get to cheat? I want to show you guys a fun fact real quick. So, we know the template gives you 5 meals per day, right? So we're going to eat 5 times. So we have 5 meals per day times 7 days in a week. That's going to give us 35 total meals. Now, let's say if we do something at 90% effort, right? We should still be able to obtain results off of that plan, I would say.
Hopefully.
Okay? So, 10%.
Unless you already do 90%.
10% of 35 meals is going to be...
3.5?
Exactly. So, times 0.1 gives you 3.5 meals throughout the whole week that you could possibly go off a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now, you got to think, if an average meal is only 350 to 500 calories, and you go out and slam like 3 donuts that's worth 1,500 calories, you just ruined 3 times that. Yeah. You know what I mean? So just be wise in your decisions, and think about why you started the diet template and how big are your goals to you. Being consistent, it goes back to our podcast we did a while back on motivation versus discipline. Yeah. Discipline's got to be there for this one.
For sure.
You're not going to be motivated to eat super healthy all the time. It's so easy to just
But we want you to live and be able to eat, eat a donut every now and then, right? But it's everything in moderation. Now, if your goal is to lose this much weight and you're eating donuts, or 10 pounds or 20 pounds or 30 pounds, and you're like, I'm not losing any weight. Well, it's like, maybe you have to eat a little bit cleaner then.
Yeah. So let's just say for argument's sake, somebody's like, okay, I didn't quite get 3.5 meals. And they're like, what's that equivalent to? I'm like, well, add up your calories on those 3.5 meals. Yeah. So if you're going to eat that one giant donut or piece of cake and it's worth over 1,000 calories, that one thing is probably going to take care of all 3.5 of those meals.
Exactly.
So just ask yourself before you eat it, is this one thing worth? Yeah. That's my 10%.
A whole meal could be like, one cookie too, like a snack. Like people, it's not really technically a meal. It's like more towards the calories of it.
Yeah.
Because like one cookie could be, depending on what kind of cookie it is, how many calories it has, it could be freaking 2 meals maybe. And people don't realize that, and they go eat 3 cookies and like, I only ate 3 cookies the whole week or whatever, and it's like, dude, but that was like 800 calories or whatever it was, and that's like. That's gonna send you over, dude.
So that's a whole week. So you basically just busted your butt. You food prepped, you went shopping, you got all this good stuff, you made all these meals, and then you made a couple bad decisions or one really bad decision, and it literally reset that whole week.
Exactly.
So you basically just, instead of losing a pound, you stayed exactly where you were. So there's 52 weeks in a year, and if you're trying to lose 50 pounds, okay, there's 1 week gone.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So think about that every time you're thinking about making a bad decision. Just ask yourself, is it worth it? Is the effort I put into making this food, doing the template, talking to my coaches, going to the gym every day, like, is it really going to be worth all of that?
Or instead of eating like 3 cookies, just eat 1 and you're good now, right?
Yeah.
You got your craving. You don't need to eat 3.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? 1, hey, you wanted your, that little sugar or that little treat, you got your treat.
And sugar is proven to be like, it's just as addictive as anything else, right? It's just as addictive as like alcohol or nicotine or like anything else. It's bad for you.
And then just don't buy it too, because like,
don't keep it in the house.
If you don't have it, you won't even want it. And if you're hungry and there's no sweets there to eat, you're just gonna be like, oh, give me a freaking apple or what, something, or let me get my meal because I'm starving right now. You're not gonna care what it is.
Yeah. And that goes that brings us right into like meal prep and why it's so important to have your food with you and have your meals ready, because when we all know how hangry we get, and we'll eat anything when we're starving, right?
Dude,
so if I go over my 3-hour window and I'm like, oh, I didn't bring my food with me, like kind of like I am right now, I'm starting to get hungry and I'm like, oh crap, I gotta make it home. But same thing, just be prepared. Being prepared is always going to be the key to everything. So it really sets you up for success for the week. It's not that hard. Once you get meal prep down, it's only going to take you a couple weeks of doing it, and boom. Nice.
I think meal prep is like the most essential part of it, really, especially with these templates. Because like Josh was saying, if you're at work or you're busy and you don't have that food ready and available to you, you're just gonna go eat whatever, and then you're not gonna get the right macronutrients when you go and eat out. You're not gonna have the right timing with your meals, and that one meal could screw you up for the whole week. You know what I'm saying? Plus, you're gonna waste more money too. So if you get that meal prep down, and it's not hard, guys. Like we were saying, it's like 2-3 hours once a week, or even if you want to do it twice a week because you want more fresh food during the week, that's totally fine too. But then you don't have to go to the grocery store again. You don't have to clean again. You only do it once a week or twice a week. And then, like I said, you already have your meals ready to go. Yeah. The only thing you're going to find is you're going to do a lot more dishwasher loads of Tupperware. Yeah, exactly. That's about the only inconvenience. And it's only like one load, It's a never-ending cycle of dishes. It's never in the drawers. It's in the dishwasher or in the fridge. Yep, always. And that's a good thing, man. If your Tupperware drawer is always empty, you're doing it right. Exactly. There you go. That's a good check if you guys need to know if you're doing it right. So when you're always out of Tupperware. Another thing, so let's talk about measuring food, man. This is a really big topic when people first start doing food prep and stuff. So it's, how do I weigh and measure my food? First of all, you gotta go to like Walgreens or Target or something. Just give them some electronic scales, yeah. Mr. 12 bucks,
Amazon
10 bucks. Oh, Amazon.
Anthony will order it for you. Just hand him cash. He's the king of Amazon. So just get an electronic food scale. Yep. The best way to do it is put your plate on the scale, zero it out, so it's 0 ounces, and then add your food one at a time. So if you get 4 ounces of chicken breast, put your chicken breast on it until it says 4 ounces, zero it out, put on your rice or whatever it is. Rice and those kinds of things are a little bit easier to measure with cups. So just look on the back of the box, and for me, it's a full cup cooked. Usually like 30 or 40 grams or whatever. Yeah, it's 45 grams of, I got it all memorized. I've been doing this for like 6 years now. So 1 cup of cooked white rice is going to be 45 grams carbohydrates. So, but Josh, what if you only need half a cup? So what if I already gave you the answer right now. What if you need 20 grams of carbs? So you would do a half a cup cooked. Yes. So make sure you guys read the back of the box when it comes to rice and carbohydrates to make sure you're not overeating. Half a cup dry becomes a full cup. Basically, it doubles. It becomes a full cup cooked. Same thing with like pastas. So for people that love pasta, it's totally fine to eat pasta. Just get the whole wheat version. And they even make veggie options too. They're made out of vegetables. Or something like that. Yeah, there's a bunch of them. Yeah, there's a ton. So they're actually pretty healthy. Zucchinis, what is it? You can make zoodles. Zoodles, that's what it was. You can make zoodles, but that's a whole different ballgame. Yeah, there's actually ones at the store that are made. They look just like pasta, but they're made out of different vegetables, like lentils and different things like that. Oh, I think I saw one of those on Shark Tank, actually. Yeah, they're super good. They're tasty. We use them all the time, man. So, and they're really, really good, and they actually have a little bit more micronutrients than other ones. So it's a good option, too. So when it comes to weighing your meat, the biggest thing is just being consistent. So to get the most accurate, you want to do it raw, but obviously for food prepping, it's never going to be raw.
I always do it
you have to
cooked
put it on
just
your plate.
because.
So do it cooked. So if you're going to do it cooked, that's fine. Still do the same thing. Still do your 4 ounces or 3 ounces or whatever you're allotted, and just stay consistent. Always do it cooked.
Yeah.
And you'll be fine. And that way you can adjust accordingly. Supposedly it's like 75% ratio from raw to cooked. So you would get less cooked than you would raw. Like it looks like less because you cook some of the juice and stuff out.
Will leave,
but dude, I've always done it cooked.
Yeah,
always.
It's more
ever since I started, and it's never.
I don't
I've
put
never
raw
had
meat
any
down. I don't
problems.
like to mess around with raw meat.
Dude, the only thing you're gonna do is get a couple extra grams of protein in. Like you're gonna be fine. We're not gonna get fat off of that. So we're good to go on that one. So just be consistent and measure it after it's already cooked. As far as like flavoring and stuff, try to stick to dry. Herbs, spices, those kinds of things. Try to stay far away from sauces, syrups, and anything liquid. If you're gonna use it and it says like organic or healthy or whatever, just turn it around, look at the ingredient list, and if there's sugar in the first 5 ingredients, don't buy it. Pretty simple, right?
That goes for maple, brown sugar. Yeah, it's all the same shit.
Just because it's organic doesn't mean it's healthy. That has nothing to do with health quality of a food at all. Organic, I don't even know if it's a real thing, man. There's a lot of people that kind of
it's a marketing scam.
It kind of is, yeah. The only thing I would go for is
there'll be organic fields right next to the regular fields, and there's the herbicides will get blown over from the wind. There's no way to stop that.
Yeah, there's no way to stop that. So organic, I wouldn't worry about. What I would go more for is like, now grass-fed beef. Is it better than regular beef? Well, I would highly agree.
There's this thing though too is the cow only has to eat grass for a certain amount of time too. So they could eat
for it to be technically.
Yes.
Oh, well, see, there's another way they get around it, man.
So I think it's only like this last 6 months or something like that. It has. It's some weird wordage on it.
Which I would still prefer that cow over.
Well, I'd probably still. I mean, the whole thing of it is when they eat more grass, to have more omega-3s on it, or and more nutrients, right? But beef's really not a great source of omega-3s, anyways. So it's not too big of a deal. Like, what I'm saying, as far as grass.
It's not. It's not going to have the same quality as like a fish.
Exactly.
Like feed like a salmon or something.
Exactly. It's still not really significant, and it's going to be a lot more expensive.
Yeah.
And it also does taste a little bit different too. Actually, I prefer not the grass-fed beef. Sure. Maybe just because I'm used to the other one, but who knows?
Yeah, and like I said, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It absolutely doesn't matter. You can shop at the high-end store, or you can go to the Walmart marketplace, and that's where I get all my chicken. It's
Costco has a really good.
Costco
meat's supposed to be really good, and it's pretty cheap too compared to you usually go there at Rayleigh's. So
if you know you're going to cook it in bulk, why not buy it in bulk?
Exactly, you're doing it in bulk. Yeah, exactly. You're cooking all at once, anyways.
Get that tri-tip. Cool. So that sums up that. Now let's get into the hungry part. So you kind of touched on that earlier. So if you're hungry when you start this meal template,
you should be a little
normal.
bit.
Yes.
Most people are not going to know how much they're eating, and they're just eating way too much. The portions are crazy. They're eating too many times a day. They're snacking a lot. So if you're a little hungry, you're probably overeating, bro. That's it.
So a little bit hungry, we're good to go.
You'll get used to it, and your stomach will shrink, and you won't be as hungry anymore.
The cool thing is, hunger is a sign of your metabolism working.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know that. Like we're so used to stuffing ourselves in our society that we're like, oh, we're full, and that's why we get lethargic, and then we want to take a nap, right? You should not feel like that after a meal. Yeah. You should actually, once it digests, you should have energy, and you should be ready to go until 3 to 5 hours later, and you're ready to eat again. So
if you feel sluggish, you probably overeat.
Yeah. If you feel sluggish, you're overeating. If you feel a little bit hungry and have a little bit more energy, you're good to go. So let that be a sign. It's going to take you a week or two to get used to, but you're going to be fine. You know it's working. That's guaranteed. You know it's working if you're a little bit hungry.
Exactly.
So, really good rule of thumb there. Now, last thing I want to talk about is, cool. So what can you do if you're just straight up so hungry? You're like, dude, Anthony, this is like way under calories, and we've double checked it, and we know the math is right. What's a good tip to kind of satisfy yourself? We already talked about the upgrading the starchy or like white rice for a potato.
Correct.
But another way would be like vegetables, right?
That's the easiest way to go to add to vegetables. It's gonna, obviously vegetables, they're not as filling as like a muffin or a steak or something like that, but they will fill you up. They will crave your hunger, and they're really not significant with calories. It's going to be really low, and they're really nutrient dense. So
even if you added like a half a cup, which is a decent sized handful, even if you added an extra half a cup to every meal throughout the day, when you look at the total calories from that,
it's going to be like 20 or something.
It's really not going to be much. Yeah, it's not going to be much. So that's a really good trick. Snacking on things like carrots and celery and things like that. I know it sounds boring,
just don't put it in ranch.
It works. Yeah, just don't dip it in ranch.
You know what I'm saying?
Please God. Please Lord. And last but not least, we already went over that. Oh, another good one too. Say you're cooking with oils and stuff a lot. I've caught myself doing this a couple times. If you cook with olive oil and coconut oil and you count that as your fat, another good thing to do is maybe switch that out for like a non-calorie like cooking spray, and then actually add nuts, like whole nuts to that meal.
Oh yeah.
So sometimes when I do like the zoodles or like stuff like that, I'll actually put whole or like those crushed almonds on it.
Yeah.
And but like enough to cover my fat ratios.
Yeah.
Instead of using the oil, and the nuts tend to fill you up just because they're a little more
better.
substantial than just a tablespoon of oil, man. You can just drink that
nothing.
easily. It's like a shot, you know? So that's a really good one to use. So especially you guys that like salads and stuff, just sprinkle in the almonds and all that on there.
I'll do that salad from Rayleigh's, and it comes with sunflower seeds. And yeah, they're pretty good.
Gives a little bit of texture too, man.
Yeah, that's the main thing is the texture of it, I believe.
Texture and changes the flavor palette a little bit. So it's a really good way to mix it up. So same thing like I was talking about earlier with the switching up vegetables, just like your nuts.
Yeah.
Try to find the whatever, because they can get a little expensive, man. Like nut butters and nuts can get really pricey.
Especially if you're getting the good kind,
like
not a lot of sugar in it.
whatever season's in and like whatever's on sale, I always try to go with the on sale option. One, on sale saves you money.
Yeah.
Two, it's just an easy way for me to not be picky and try something new.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh, whatever's on sale. So I just look at the whole section, whichever one's good.
Oh, actually, I like this now.
Yeah, and that's how I got into like almond butter, cashew butter. I never had that stuff my whole life.
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden I was like, oh, it's on sale. I'll try it. And then you're like, okay, it's completely different.
Good.
Yeah, tastes like something different. So do you have any other tips and tricks for this stuff, or I think it's pretty simple, man.
No, it's pretty simple, guys. Like that's where that was the whole point of it. Really, is to make it as simple as possible for you guys. Like I said before, I think the main thing is meal prepping. Just make sure you're meal prepping, man. If you're meal prepping, you're gonna be good to go. If you're not, you're not gonna stick to it. Almost 100%, you're not gonna do it.
Yeah.
Kind of like what Josh said too. We're trying to find something that's sustainable. You know what I'm saying? We want to keep you on this, eating this way. We don't want to think like you're on a diet, because if you're on a diet, you're always gonna get off a diet, and you're gonna go back to what you don't want, basically. So really, we're just trying to change the way you're eating and make you aware of what you're eating. Maybe you didn't even know you're eating too much. Maybe you don't even know what kind of foods you should eat. A lot of people don't, you know, especially when they first start working out or start getting health conscious.
And the ratios. I mean, that's what this fixes, right?
Exactly.
It's just retraining your brain to see what your plate should actually look like all the time.
Exactly.
And keep it consistent. So one thing we need to go over before we wrap this up is what happens when that situation does come up and you do have to eat out, right?
Yeah.
There are better choices than others, right? So we know if I go to Chipotle versus McDonald's, okay, I've already killed one bird because I know I'm getting a better quality food at Chipotle.
Yeah.
So at least they have like the organic foods and good lean meats and all that kind of stuff. There's cooked in a little bit of oil, so you're good to go there. What do? I can't control the portion. I can't go back there and be like, hey, my macros are, I need 4 ounces of that chicken, blah, blah, blah. The lady behind the counter is going to look at you like you're a crazy person, right?
Yeah.
So what can you do to control those things? Like, do you have any tips and tricks for that? Or?
Yeah, there's a couple different options you can do. I mean, the first one would be, I guess it matters how long you've been meal prepping for, but you should know kind of the portions, just kind of, but,
so you can be able to eyeball
it, right? So you don't have to eat the whole meal, bro. Get a box to go and eat the rest at home later for your other meal. You could also, if you're not really sure, you kind of want to splurge a little bit, maybe you want to get a little dessert after, well, that's your cheat meal for that week. Try not to overdo it. Don't eat 2 pieces of cake or 3 pieces of cake. Yeah. Or maybe if you're drinking, you had a little wine with that, I'd count that as probably your cheat meal, you know what I'm saying? Those are probably the best tips I have. And then it just matters what route you want to hit it on. You could do that to kind of make it as your cheat meal. Obviously, don't eat a bunch of it. A lot of people I know, too, is like, oh, I'm eating bad. F it, I'm just gonna eat really bad now. It's like, dude, no.
They blow the whole day because they make one bad decision.
Yeah.
So the rest of the day is like, well, let's just go ahead and chalk that one up.
It doesn't count now because I've already messed up, so it doesn't matter. No, it all comes back to you. So even if you cheat, just do it a little bit, bro. Don't go off the cliff with it.
I agree. I have 2 tricks that I give all my clients, and I think they're extremely I think they're awesome. I think they're the 2 best tricks when it comes to getting stuck at like restaurants and stuff like that, or just being able to still be social, man. Like your friends invite you up, you don't want to say no just because you're like, I'm on a diet. Diet is just the way you eat. Diet does not mean calorie restrictive,
this
whatever.
food rather than
it's the
other
way
food.
you eat. That's all it is. So when you go out, 2 really good things you can do. If you're good at eyeballing it and you've been doing this for a while, one really good trick is get your to-go box the second you sit down. Go ahead and grab your to-go box, portion on your plate your normal, make it look however. So let's just keep using Chipotle for example. It's right by my house, so I eat there a lot.
Nice.
So go ahead and pull the chicken off to the side, make it in that portion, pull out whatever rice you need, pull out the veggies. So veggies you eat as much as you want, who cares? Take the rest of the rice that you know is like, oh, this is way too much, put it in the to-go box, the extra chicken, put it in the to-go box. Yeah. And if you like guacamole and you have the fat for it, just keep 2 tablespoons on your plate and then because they give you like that big, like
container
huge
of
thing.
it.
Dude, like, yeah, it's ridiculous, man, how much they put on like a burrito bowl. Like, it's like 6 to 8 servings
Oh, wow.
of fat in that one thing of guacamole. So if you guys didn't know that, dude, like,
Now you do.
a serving of fat is literally, this is 1 tablespoon, your thumb
Yeah.
right here. So you guys that get 15 grams of fat per meal, which is pretty standard, that's going to be 2 of these.
Yeah,
So when
sorry.
you put that next to your guacamole on that giant glob,
Yeah,
dude, it's crazy. And people just eat it and like, oh, it's healthy, it's avocados, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like, but you just ate all your fat for today and tomorrow
Yeah.
in 1 meal. And they're like, oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, exactly.
So remember that. So get a to-go box the second you sit down, portion your meal out on your plate, dump the rest in there, save it for later.
Yep.
Thing number 2, if you're at a restaurant and you haven't been food prepping for a while, or it's a weird type meal,
Yeah.
protein is going to be the
Size
palm
of
of
your
your
palm.
hand. So the palm, it'll be the diameter, and the thickness is going to be 1 serving of protein. So if you're one of those people trying to like gain weight and muscle and all that, it's going to be 2. You get 2.
Yeah.
Most people are on the weight loss one, so you're going to get 1 of those. For your carbohydrate, it's going to be a cupped hand.
Okay.
So if it's rice or whatever, the potatoes or whatever, it's whatever would fit in 1 cupped hand.
Yeah.
Put that on your plate. For vegetables, if it says 1 cup of veggies, it's going to be a fist.
Yeah.
So this is a full cup. Usually most people are going to get 2 cups of veggies. So
Yeah.
2 of those. So whether you have greens or vegetables or whatever. So 2 fistfuls of veggies. And then if you get fat, if it says like 7 to 8 grams of fat per meal, it's going to be 1 thumb. Just the tip of it, not the whole. So some of you guys that have the giant long thumbs, no. Just the knuckle part to the end is 1 tablespoon. So if you get 15 grams of fat, you get 2 of those.
Yeah.
And that's a really easy way to do it. So you guys, also for the people that get a lot of carbohydrates, like more than 15 or more than 20,
Yeah.
it's gonna be 2 cupped handfuls.
2 cups.
That's a really good way. I had a running coach once that put me on that because she wanted me to eat more food than I was already eating. I came in a little underweight that year.
Yeah.
And she was like, hey, I want you to stop counting macros because obviously it's restricting what you eat, and I want you to go off of hand sizes. And I actually went into that running season at 156.4 pounds.
Yeah.
And 1 year later, at the end of a running season, I weighed 156.4 pounds.
Oh, wow.
I sustained, and I did really good that year. I had like a solid year of training. So I'm like, for people that are looking to like really be consistent, it
Yeah.
actually works. You might think it
Well,
throw
it's
you
easy.
off,
You
but
always have your hand,
I was
right?
I wasn't allowed to weigh or measure anything. She was like, only use your hands, and it worked really, really well. So I think that'll help a lot of people that can't quite
Yeah.
eyeball it yet.
Yeah.
Give them a good rule of thumb. So just stick to it, and that way you still get to enjoy whatever food you ordered.
Yeah.
It's here's your carb, here's your veggie, here's your meat. It's all going to be that choice. It
Yeah,
might
like-
not be the healthiest, but at least you can portion control it.
Yeah.
So those are
Like,
my
don't
2
get a
biggest
burrito.
tricks.
Get the bowl there.
Too,
Well,
but
I mean,
yeah.
I
you got to understand that.
Preaching to the choir.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you just got to understand the quantity of that tortilla, and then the rice, and then the beans. It's
Yeah.
like carb on carb on carb.
Exactly.
You guys didn't know that one. So
Yeah.
if you guys have any more questions about food or want to talk about it, nutrition's a huge part of what we do here at ASAP.
Yeah.
So if you're not hitting your nutrition just as hard as you're hitting your workouts, you might be kind of limiting, not kind of.
I mean,
you
we
are
have-
limiting the results you're going to get in the
if
gym
we have
for sure.
like the workouts we do here, you should be losing weight or gaining weight, whatever your goal is. So
Yeah.
if you're not doing those, they're not reaching those goals, it's because your diet probably, or your recovery, or both. It's the things that you're doing outside the gym, because like when you come in here, you know you're gonna get a great workout every time. So it's
Yeah.
like if you're not taking care of yourself or taking care of the other things that you need to do, that's probably what's hindering you. But
Yeah.
we're here to support you as much as possible in that. So
Yep. So we hope this one helps, guys. As always, make sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more stuff. We've had a lot of really good podcasts in the past couple of months, man.
Yeah.
They've been really good information, so feel free to dabble in that. Other than that, just make sure you guys recommend any friends that are having problems. If you guys know anybody struggling and just needs a little bit of help with their diets, send them over to me in Elk Grove, or hit me up at fasterstrongerproject@gmail.com. I'll be happy to answer any of their questions. I'm not going to charge them. I would love to send them a meal template, talk to them a little bit if they're having problems and they just want to get started with nutrition.
Yeah.
And then maybe that'll kind of spark that fire in your friend that's maybe overweight or having problems with it.
Yeah.
And maybe after a couple of months and they see the results, they'll be like, hey, maybe I'll start training with you at the CrossFit gym. So you never know. You could be helping somebody a lot just by
we're trying to help
sending
as
them our way.
many people as possible.
Yep.
So hey,
So I don't
need
care
help,
if you're a member
let
of the
us-
gym
let
or
us
not,
know.
man. Yeah, I'll take care of everybody.
Yeah.
So, but thanks
Cool.
for watching, guys.
Thanks.